The Hollywood actors strike, preventing artificial intelligence from replacing actors on set. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just don't really like. Is it not enjoyable to have a favorite actor? Like, oh, I love this actress. She was so good in this. Oh, I love that actor. I like their personality. I like their backstory. I like their humanity, their essence, their quality. Be a little strange with a robot. You know, you just plug in updates and you know what I mean? Update. Oh, he lost weight. Oh, he gained weight. Oh, he's going bald. Oh, he grew his hair back. Oh, he's a bad boy. He used to have a drinking problem. Oh, wait, no, update. He's sober now. Like, what about the humanity and the human experience that comes to an actor in these roles? You know what I mean? A lot of actors, a trend in the industry is the bad boy. You know, oh, the bad boy smoking cigarettes and having drinking problems and going through all this turmoil. As I mentioned, I mean, what good is that to have this artist with their artistic struggles if they could just update it at any time? Oh, wait a minute. I am no longer an alcoholic. Update. Okay. I am no longer the bad boy actor you once knew me as. You know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I am no longer a bad boy actor. I am a good boy. Good boy actor. Updating. Syncing. 100% complete update. You know, like, what the fuck? I like having that bad boy or that bad girl thing where it's like, oh, they're a struggling artist and they have to overcome their fucking, oh, they smoking ice. Like this fucking actor, he's like a fucking meth head. You know, he's been out there smoking ice and fucking hookers and shit. And then, like, you know, he overcomes his trials and tribulations to play, like, you know, Batman or something like that. Like, it's really motivating. What about that aspect of the actor? Right? So we can't let this AI dominate, replace actors. I don't think that's very cool. Because, I mean, yeah, you can artificially generate a performance, but is not the whole point of storytelling to express the human condition? So it's like, yeah, I mean, I can appreciate, you know, like, you know, when you go to the grocery store, and even this is kind of sad. I mean, you got to love the working class. You got to love your cashiers, even though some of them are grouchy, you know. Price check aisle 1. They just throw your produce into a, hey, take it easy on them bananas, honey. You know, I got to eat that. You know, you got a bunch of bananas. They just throw them into a bag. Hey, take it easy on them bananas, honey. You know, I pay for those. That's fresh produce. Fresh produce that I got to eat. Produce. You know? So, you know, while I do love cashiers and the working class, I mean, it is kind of handy to have a self-checkout. Beep, beep, beep. Tap your card and you're out the door. So, you know, the self-checkout is kind of handy. You know what I mean? So, you know, AI, artificial intelligence and technology, it's not always so bad, but like, isn't the whole point of storytelling to be the human condition? You know what I mean? So it is a little terrifying when you think about replacing actors and artists and people who create and people who do the storytelling of civilization. It's a little off-putting, isn't it? I mean, would you want to go see a robot? Would you want to go see a robot dance the fucking, what do they call it? The Pelican Brief or whatever, or the Nutcracker? Like, would you want to go see a fucking robot android up there dancing the fucking Nutcracker? Like, no, you want to see an actual ballerina, you know? Give you something to perversely think about when you're laying in bed at night. Like, you want to see an actual ballerina, you know what I mean? So this is an article from wikipedia.com. Make sure to donate. All right. Here we go here. So, from wikipedia.org. 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. So this is the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike. Date, it started July 14th, 2023 to the present day, 1 week, right? It's been going on for about a week. In the United States, primarily in Los Angeles and New York City. The strike has been caused by lack of agreement on a new contract between SAG-AFTRA and the AMPTP, whatever the hell that means. Disagreement over streaming residuals and regulation of self-tape auditions. Studio usage of artificial intelligence to scan actors' faces to generate performances digitally. Yeah, so those are the major grievances. AI. I guess they can scan an actor's face. They get into some bum contract where they scan your face once on a contract. You get paid X amount of dollars. And then for the next umpteen years, they're just reproduce your image through AI. So, that ain't cool. Actors gotta eat. So there's these AI developments that are kind of undercutting the actor. Disagreement over streaming residuals and regulation of self-tape auditions. Okay, so there's a lot of streaming. Netflix, Crave, Hulu, all these type of services. Well, a lot of times, from what I can gather, residuals are paid out to the actor based on views in this digital age. Well, Netflix, Hulu, Crave, a lot of these companies are withholding the views, the click-through rate. So you don't really know how many views these shows are getting. Hence, well, what is the percentage of residual? Could be right, could be wrong. That's kind of the general consensus I get. Like they're withholding the numbers. So the residuals on these streaming sites, again, undercutting actors' payment. And then a lack of agreement on a new contract between SAG-AFTRA and the AMPT, whatever that is, the AMPT, I don't know. So the goals of this strike are to ratify a labor contract, streaming service residual formula, address the streaming service residual formula, greater regulation of self-tape auditions. Now, self-tape auditions are like, due to COVID, the whole laptop industry or the laptop class, everything was going online. So instead of, and it was kind of leaning towards that anyways, I noticed for myself as an actor as well. Back in the day, you may have to, record an audition on VHS, send it into a agency, casting director. That could take weeks. Or in-person auditions. You'd have to trek down to the casting office and do a audition, and in-person auditions can be very time consuming and financially taxing. You got to rent a space, you got to set up the oversight, the management, all that can be kind of time consuming too, and financially cumbersome for a production. Self-tape is like the kind of the industry standard at the moment. Actors are being asked to put themselves on self-tape, film themselves doing an audition and send it in, email it in. And in this technology age, semi-simple. You could do it on your phone, set up a little home studio situation, self-tape yourself and send it in. Though there's pushback because, a lot of actors, it's hard. It could be a grind. And having the resources to do a adequate self-tape, something that looks professional, not a lot of actors have that resource. So, lighting, camera, location, all that goes into a self-taping can be a little bit cumbersome, a little financially cumbersome on an actor's pocket. And there's all these self-tape studios. It's almost like an industry within an industry. There seems to be a lot of that, unfortunately, for the actor. There's always an industry upon the industry. If you want to become an actor, well, then you should take acting lessons and get headshots and get a self-taping studio and, blah, 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 blah. Dialect coach, physical movement coach, blah, 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 blah. All these fucking ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. All these fucking price tags popping up on an actor. It's not exactly easy. So that's another goal of the strike, is to kind of, regulate some of these self-tape audition situations and to ratify the labor contract. The ins and outs, the tit-for-tat issues facing the labor contract for SAG-AFTRA. And, put the new John Hancock on it. Get a new signature, get a new deal going. The old John Hancock. Get some Peckerwood to revamp the labor contract. And the methods of which they're going about this is by strike action, work stoppage, and picketing. They're picketing in front of, all the major studios. Work stoppage, they're not showing up on set. Stuff like that. They're striking. The strike marks the first time that actors have initiated a labor dispute in the U.S. since the 1980 actors' strike, and the first time that actors and writers, don't forget those dorks, those fucking Peckerwoods, those pencil dicks, the writers, God bless them, marks the first time that actors and writers have walked out simultaneously since 1960. Both the 2023 SAG-AFTRA and WGA labor disputes have contributed to the biggest interruption to the American television and film industries since the impact of COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. That bears repeating. Both the 2023 SAG-AFTRA and WGA labor disputes have contributed to the biggest interruption to the American television and film industries since the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. So this is a big deal. Halting of productions, production stoppage. They're pushing back, these actors and writers. And there's media coverage of it, politicians weighing in on it, yada, yada, yada. At the moment, the strike is ongoing. And, what comes to mind for me is, as an actor myself, I guess I have an independent streak, though I don't really consider, I don't think it was ever really a conscious decision, but, I went through theater school. I came up as an actor. I went out there trying to get auditions, trying to get agents, dealing with auditions, did all that wackadoo for years. And somewhere around, 2008. So, a while ago now. What is that? 15 years ago or so, about 15 years ago, I was a youngster, I was a very young man, and I'd just been in the industry for a little while. And I started to notice that, as a stand-up comedian, which I also am, and as an actor, I started to notice that, you're often begrudged and belittled as an actor. It's a very strange industry. Any other industry, you get into it and it's like, hey, I'm a first-year welder. I'm a first-year plumber. Any help, any direction for me? What can I do to level up? What can I do to get going? Oh, sure, yes. Go here, go there, do this, do that. Take steps A, B, C, D till you get all the way down to Z. Like, there's a path. There's a steps to take. Well, as an actor, unfortunately, man, you get into the industry and it's all smiles and smiles and smiles. And then you're like, all right, I'm on the hunt for my first paycheck. What do I do? Fuck off. That's the answer. Go fuck yourself. Get in line, buddy, with the rest of them bums trying to make it in this game. And you can't hate the player. You got to hate the game. Or don't hate the player, hate the game. It's just the way it is, man. As an actor, you're kind of, till you build a name for yourself, you're kind of low on the totem pole. Your work is often considered expendable. A lot of times, it's assumed that you should work for free. People will be like, yeah, why don't you just donate your time to the project while everybody else is getting paid? Cinema, the videographer, cinematographer, all the labor, the grips, the lighting, all these people, the transport, all these people are getting paid, yet the actor a lot of times on productions are, oh, this is just an opportunity for you for your demo reel. All these little Mickey Mouse cookie cutter excuses, little fucking cheap excuses not to pay for your talent, right? So I learned that very early in my career, and that's what kind of spurred me on to be more independent. I was like, okay, well, if I could build a rep for myself as a comic, then I can start negotiating better work as an actor. That's how I start to look at it. If I could get myself going independently, then I can negotiate better work for myself, as opposed to just, knocking on doors, knocking on doors. Oh, help me, somebody, like, give me a deal, give me a contract, give me an agent, give me this, give me that, help me. No, I'm going to fight for my right. You're not paying me well enough as a background actor. Like, they don't respect you at all in the beginning. That's just the way it is. And you can't hate the player. You can't hate the game. You can't hate anything. There's an old saying in show business, and it's even an old show tune, a famous old show tune from some whack-ass musical, can't remember. But there's a saying about, acting and, filmmaking and show business. Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try. Nice work if you can get it. Yeah, it's nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try, but there ain't no guarantees, and you can't go crying victim. Just the way it is. And I noticed that very early in my career. That's why I always went on to try to be more independent. And, I remember like some of the snobbish, like there's almost a very elitist, snobbish kind of aspect to unions. Are you with the union? Or are you with the union? They always want to know as an actor, are you with the union? Because you got to jump through all these damn hoops and pay all these fees and do this, that, mumbo jumbo. Yet what does it really mean in terms of talent? It's just bureaucracy. Take two. It's just bureaucracy. And, you're oftentimes in many union situations outside of performing, a union is really just something that stands in the way between the employer and the employee. It makes that relationship more tense and more difficult. And it's really for the bloodsuckers, the leeches, in my opinion, generally speaking. The lowlives who, they want to suckle onto the teat of, big business and, collect a paycheck for doing next to nada. You know what I mean? These type of parasites. But I have to admit, I do understand the other side of it too. As an actor, you have to have adequate rights and representation, or they'll walk all over you and disrespect your work. And for example, some of the things we're talking about there, the AI intelligence situation where they're going to scan your image and then reproduce you in infinity, in continuum, on these crazy contracts where they just scan your image and then reuse you and reuse you and reuse you. You know, that's not fair to the actor. And, you know, and these big film studios, Netflix, Hulu, Prime Video, you know, Amazon Prime, all these production houses, they're making big money, man. They're making bank. People are really into the series. You know, if you get a good series, there's tons of people who love to, you know, binge watch their favorite shows, these series. And there's a lot of interest in content like that. And, you know, these actors need to be represented and paid accordingly. Even though I don't suggest bedwetting and whining and crying about every damn thing. I mean, like I said, I made my choice. Even though I am putting my foot into the arena and trying to play the game the way the game is. Hey, man, you got to audition. You got to bust your ass. You got to, hey, you're at the low end of the totem pole until otherwise stated. Your value is dictated by your ability to put butts in the seat as an actor. That's just how it is. You got to fight through and win a role, and then you have to nurture and cultivate whatever breaks that you do get. You got to be seen wherever you can. You got to hustle and bustle and build up somewhat of a fan base or a following or an awareness of your craft, an awareness of you as an actor. You have to build it up somehow and nurture that, and that will dictate your value. You can't just hide behind your fucking union card and, I don't get paid as much as Tom Cruise. Well, that's because you're not fucking Tom Cruise. Well, I mean, you might be fucking him. Who knows? You know what I mean? But, you know, just because you fucked Tom Cruise and you were in the background of Mission Impossible 10 doesn't mean, you know, you're going to get the same payment as the value that Tom Cruise brings to a production. Show me the money! Help me help you. I don't have much of a Tom Cruise impersonation, but, you know, that guy's a legend. You know, A Few Good Men, Risky Business, Mission Impossible franchise, Collateral, Jerry Maguire, Magnolia. I believe that was a one that was a really big one of his films. I believe he was in that movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. That's why I can't quite picture it. But I remember Magnolia being one of his well-known dramatic roles, if I'm not mistaken. You know, Tom Cruise. He got a lot of rave reviews for that one. Eyes Wide Shut, Stanley Kubrick, I believe. You know. Top Gun. I mean, this is Tom Cruise. He has a certain value in the industry. And a lot of these actors that they're out there picketing and whinging and whining and banging on, it's like, you can't hate the player, you can't hate the game, you can't hate anything. It's just the way it is. Nice work if you can get it. You can get it if you try. Yeah. And, you know, what I would like to see these actors do is, well, actually, I mean, it's up to them. But, you know, I still stand with my brethren and sisters in the fight. I am an actor as well. So, you know, I stand with them in the fight, even though you ain't going to see me picketing anytime soon. What I would think they should do is, yes, they are stopping production, they're halting, and they should show their value to these studios by, hey, yo, this is the 21st century. Things are going online. I mean, yeah, you can stand around and picket on the sidewalk and make a big production of it, or you could take your cause online. Band together and make your own projects. Make a TV series out of the strike, you know? get together. Hey, these writers are on strike. These actors are on strike. They can come together, put up some sort of Facebook page, a YouTube channel, something, get some interest, get some followers, put out content, a podcast, a web series, something like that. Show your value in real time instead of stomping around with a picket sign. Pay me more. Respect me. Pay me more. Don't, like, it's a little childish in this day and age, don't you think? They don't give a fuck. I mean, generally speaking. I mean, no one gives a fuck, generally speaking. So there's the rub. So, you gotta show your value in real time. Though there ain't nothing wrong with a renegotiation of a contract. I understand the point. I think it has to be two things. A discussion and a dialogue and a negotiation on these terms and these contracts. But also, I think a lot of actors and writers have to take a more realistic approach to their situation in the industry and do for themselves to get to a place where they feel their value is truly represented. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't feel my value is truly represented in the industry as it is. That's why I don't keep myself beholden to it. I do the podcast, Johnathan, Ramcharan, the podcast. Thank you very much for your viewership. I do my stand-up comedy. I'm writing. I'm doing what I can to get myself out there to represent my value. And I'm also willing to play the game. I'm willing to stand in line and audition like everybody else. But I ain't gonna go crying and whinging and banging on about the unfairness of what it is to be an actor when, don't hate the player, don't hate the game, don't hate anything. Nice work if you can get it. You can get it if you try. And there goes Tom Cruise on his motorcycle with a fucking 22-year-old fucking TikTok star on the back of his motorcycle, going off to jump off a cliff somewhere and parachute into some pussy. Parachuting into pussy at the age of 60. God bless you, Tom Cruise. I'd jump on a couch right now, but I don't own a couch. I would jump on my couch right now in honor of you, Tom Cruise, but I don't own a couch. So that's the reality of being an actor. So God bless my brothers and sisters in the AFTRA, SAG, Hollywood, actor strike. Keep on rocking in the free world. Yes.